Button versus small blind. Yeah, see, we have folds here, we have folds here, but we have jams from here. And if you go versus 3-bet all in, all of this is folding. So what you're trying to do there with this strategy is to get these hands in there, which is in a way a very common heuristic, even for GPV scenarios, where it's a good idea, generally speaking, to induce the bottom of your getting range. Because if you're at the bottom of your getting range, if you put it in, just reshove it, you don't gain anything if villain has you beat. Let's say you're in a spot where the bottom of your getting range is ace jack offsuit, and you have ace jack offsuit there, and you're like, oh, this is my getting range, I'm gonna go all in. You go all in. If the other player has ace king, you're getting stacked anyways. But on the other hand, if the other player has ace five, you go all in, they fold. But if you instead go for the induced sizing, they're gonna 4-bet put it in with like the ace fives, the ace fours, etc., etc. So this thing is at play here. Just a nice little funny thing to keep in mind. Very little calling below 30 BB. I believe we mentioned that last time, but again, commonly misconceived scenario where it's just very intuitive. We used to playing a lot of calls facing opens, and with high risk premiums, what we began with, which is that our equity thresholds are much higher, which means that all the calling that we're used to from GPV just becomes redundant, and we play a very, very heavy 3-bet only strategy. And you see, like, you have like no calling here. This is cutoff versus R5 from hijack. In this scenario here, we have button versus R5 from hijack, where again, like, we're covered in both of these scenarios. There's just no calling. You're not trying to flick in a call with queen jack suited, because especially if you're covered, like, you can maybe make arguments in some scenarios, but you're covered, you're in a lot of pressure. You just don't want to, like, the hands that naturally want to call just don't have the equity to call, so they don't. There could be a exception to that, because we're also playing poker. The sims that we're looking at are static, and there is FGS, there are a lot of things. So we're not saying don't ever call, but we're saying, okay, this is what the calculator thinks is an equilibrium within the independent chip model. And then understanding that and adjusting from here is a better way to go than just playing your natural GPV ranges. There are a lot of scenarios where, let's say you're here on the button, you have 26 bigs, hijack opens, it's pretty tough spot, blinds cover you, but if this guy is recreational and the blinds are passive, by all means, call queen jack suited, call queen 10, call king 10 suited, try to play poker versus people that you think you can outplay post flop. Just keep in mind that you're not supposed to, which doesn't mean that you should never do it. Again, just a calculator, no two spots are the same. It's a very dynamic game.
Preflop Academy Pro subscribers can watch the whole video on the website.